It's round 3 of the GP4 Offline Championship 2020 season. We are here for the Chinese Grand Prix at the Shanghai International Circuit, the second of 11 tracks that are on the GP4 calendar that weren't featured on the revised 2020 F1 calendar, the second of 8 tracks that of course have been on the OT calendar every season since it started, and of course the circuit layout based on the Chinese character called Shang. 17th having won here over the past 40 seasons, with Ferrari, the team that has won the most, interestingly enough, 5 times. Now of course, 56 laps around the circuit length of 5.451 kilometers, 16 corners, lap record set by Franco Lopez in 2017, 132.132. One of the many lap records that isn't from 2009. I mean, there's still a few from 2009 because the cars were so quick then. Previous 5 winners here have included Volker, Joseph Willows, Volker who's won here twice, 2015 and 2017, Joseph Willows who won here last season. Maybe a bit more difficult for him to win this year considering the fact he's in the McLaren, but McLarens are generally a quick car, so you never know. Tyres we'll be using for this race will be the medium tyres, and the practice results are about to come on the screen right now, and it was once again, well, I say a total Mercedes dominance. Mercedes 1-2, and then the pink Mercedes of George Roque in 3rd, and then Lin Capana in 4th, and the 2 Red Bulls, 5th and 6th positions. That was practice. However, this was the grid as a result of qualifying, and it was Armand Carr once again on pole position with Franco Gamba alongside him in second car, who of course has won the first 2 races of the season so far. Row 2, George Roque, his best qualifying performance so far. 3rd position in the Racing Point with Nicolas Gal alongside him in 4th. Row 3, we have Roland Motion in the other Racing Point with Kirosova de Rosa alongside him. That is row 3 of the grid. Row 4, we have the 2 runners of Evan Byrne and Jake Galloway. Galloway, who's performed very well so far this season, got his first points last time out in Bahrain. On row 5 of the grid, we have Joseph Willows for McLaren and Chris Chatfield for AlphaTauri, qualifying by Chris. Row 6 of the grid, a very surprising row 6. Laura Chung, well, not necessarily surprising her being 11th, but Franco Lopez, only 12th position, had unfortunately a very bad qualifying session. Partly not his fault, but partly he didn't do a quick enough lap. Roberto Gam was 13th and Cupok was 14th. Cupok, who had a 5-place grid penalty from the incident with Griffiths last time out. Row 8 was the 2 Alfa Romeos of Federi and Gomez. Row 9, we have Dudu Kirby for Haas and Daniel Fraser, of course, in the other Haas. On row 10 of the grid, we have Felix Sontag for Williams and Rosetta Martinez for Manor. And on the last row of the grid, we have Amelia Wilson and Jamie Griffiths for Manor and Williams, respectively. Griffiths, whose qualifying performances haven't been great, but in races so far this season, he's generally performed quite well. It will once again be another dry race, so this will be interesting to see what happens. We've had a few wet races here in the past, but let's get on with the race. So we are now on the grid, 56 laps around the Shanghai International Circuit. This should be a very interesting race. The lights are now coming on for the Chinese Grand Prix. We have 5 lights that are now on, and the 5 lights go out, and who's going to get the jump into the first corner? Can Carr get a good launch? It looks like he already has. Heading towards the first corner, he's going to keep the lead. Gamera's in second place. He's got the 2 Racing Points behind him, and one of them is trying to go around the outside. I think that's Roque trying to go around the outside of Gamera now for the inside for the next corner. Can he make the move stick? The answer is Gamera's at the moment in 3rd, because Roque has managed to nip past him, but can Gamera keep the run around the outside and keep the position? It looks like he's on the right side now, and Gamera does keep second position just about. And oh, there was contact behind, and Joseph Willows has been involved yet again. Nicolas Gal is missing a rear and a front wing, but Joseph Willows once again has been involved in something in every race so far, just can't get a lucky break. Evan Byrne has also been involved as well, so he's going to have to pit. But poor Joseph Willows is going to not have much luck, as there's Lopez now managing to sneak his way through. And there's Wilson at the back. Griffiths has actually made a good start. He's moved up a couple of places. We're going to have a look at a replay of what happened just there. So we're looking on board with Gal, who is in 7th place, and heading up into the corner. Was he the one that he was the one that went into Willows? And yep, it was definitely his fault that he went into Willows there. Now we're looking on board from Laura Chung, from her point of view, and oh, she got damage as well. She was the one who went into the back of Byrne. Meanwhile, Gabriel Gomez, who's made an unbelievable start, who started all the way down in, what was it, like 15th place, 15th, 16th place. He's already up into the top 10 and trying to go past the Mercedes of Lopez. Meanwhile, Galloway defending from Cupok there. Cupok trying to make a move on the inside. Gomez decides to back off and not make the move there. Now, as all the cars heading up to the hairpin, this could be a bit messy because everyone's trying to overtake each other. Griffiths has actually moved up a ton of places, now up into 14th, actually following that chaotic start. And Martinez and it looks like that was Sontag side by side there. Sontag keeps the position there. Now Roberto Gamba trying to make his way through. Griffiths now trying to make his way up to 12th place. It would be an unbelievable start from Griffiths to move up 10 positions, I should say, on the first lap. Griffiths going to try and go around the outside. It's almost 3 wide into turn 1, and Griffiths, I think, has managed to do it, and yes, he did. So great start there by Jamie Griffiths, moving up to 12th place, up 10 positions from last on the grid. As we see that all the cars coming into the pits there. But looking at the starts, so the top 3 are the same. Moitin's moved up a position. A number of drivers moving up positions on the first lap. So we've got De Rossa as well. Now, meanwhile, we're looking at Roland Moitin, who's in 4th, right behind his teammate George Roque, heading up towards the end of the back straight, and he's going to make a move. So Car, you can see, is kind of gone in the distance. Gamba has got a bit of a gap to the racing points, but it's not exactly getting away. Moitin now on the inside of Roque, and he moves up into 3rd. So good move behind him. Now De Rossa might be taking a look at Roque soon if he's not careful. Roque had a great qualifying, his best of the season, in 3rd, but so far it doesn't look like he's quite got the pace of his teammate Moitin, or seemingly any pace at all, because De Rossa is now alongside him, heading up towards the hairpin, and this is going to be a pretty simple move, it looks like, and De Rossa is going to be through, up into 4th place. So good move there by the pole. Meanwhile, behind, Galloway and Kupok still fighting for position. Now we're looking on board with Roland Moitin, who's actually closed up to the back of Franco Gamba actually for 2nd place, so we could see a battle on there soon. Meanwhile, Wilson battling with Roberto Gamba. This is the 13th position. Gamba really trying to make a move on the inside, and well, Wilson is certainly not going to make it easy. And oh, gone wide there. Has the manner, and can Gamba make it stick? The answer is no, and he has to stay once again behind the manner, coming through the final corner. And is he going to make a move into the first corner? Is Gamba? He's going to try and make a move on the inside, is he? He's going to now go for it behind the manner of Martinez. And so, he's not quite on the inside. Or now he's actually made it. I think Martinez went a little bit wide there. And, yep, he made it through on the inside. Did Gamba, so he's up another position. As meanwhile, Joseph Willows battling with Miguel Escal for 19th position. You would not expect these two will be battling for that position. You wouldn't have expected that, really. That is for sure. But Willows seemingly has got the pace over Gao. He's got light fuel as well, which probably explains why he's so quick. Meanwhile, Moitin right on the back of Franco Gamba for 2nd place. Car has just gone into the distance. So Moitin in the slipstream and going to make a move on the inside of Franco Gamba into the hairpin. And already down the straight, and he's already got past. You can see just the rear wing disappearing from view. I should say the front wing disappearing from view. And so Moitin is now up into 2nd place. So Moitin is on a roll at the moment. So good move there by the Hungarian. So can he go after Armar Kar? I've no idea how far ahead he is. So we'll find out when they come to the line how far that is. So it must be at least probably about 5-6 seconds. And it is actually about 5.6. Was the gap I just saw there, and De Rossa's actually not too far away either, so I wonder if De Rossa could also make a move on Franco Gamba soon, maybe. Meanwhile, Martinez now being overtaken by Andrea Federi. This is for 14th place. Federi makes a pretty easy move there. Then behind is Wilson and Kirby. Meanwhile, Joseph Willows now making a move on the inside of Gal, heading in towards the hairpin, which is everyone's favourite overtaking spot on this track. And he's now on the inside, and he is through. So that's a good move there. Meanwhile, Federi under pressure from Martinez, who of course he just passed. And Moitin at the moment, well, the gap is about 5.7, so I don't know if I'd say Moitin's gaining on Carl. He's certainly getting away from Franco Gamba though, which is good. But at the moment it's looking pretty simple once again for Carl. Could he take 3 out of 3 races so far? His teammate, of course, Franco Lopez, has been the unlucky one. He's been 2nd in both the first 2 races, narrowly lost out in Australia. But Bahrain was a lot more clear cut. But could we see Carl winning 3 in a row? Because Lopez at the moment is down the field. But there's only 8. There's still plenty of the race to go. We're only on lap 8. Meanwhile, Kupok now trying to make a move on Jake Galloway for 6th place, with Franco Lopez just behind. Kupok going to try once again on the inside. Oh, very close between the two. And there's a bit of contact there. But Kupok unable to make the move stick there. So he has to wait once again. He's lost a lot of momentum now, which is not good because it means he'll have to wait. Well, he can't make the move down the front straight. He's not close enough because he's lost all that momentum that he did have. But now Franco Lopez is right behind in 8th position. He might make a move for 7th, going towards the first corner. Lopez is going to try and sneak on the inside. I think has Lopez edged in front? Not quite. But it's a long, winding right-hander And no, unless Lopez can get the run around the outside, no he can't, so he has to stay behind Kupok there. But Kupok's got to be careful here, because he's been all over the back of Galloway since the start, unable to make the move, and now he'll have Lopez behind him. Meanwhile, Evan Byrne absolutely stonking past Laura Chung in her own backyard, so Laura Chung now is in last position in our home Grand Prix. That's certainly not what she would have wanted. Unfortunately, not been a good start for her, not generally been a good start to the season, unfortunately. Meanwhile, looking at Moichin and Carr, the gap actually is coming down a little bit. Meanwhile, actually, De Rossa is now right behind Franco Gamba for third, so we could see another overtake soon. And De Rossa's on light fuel, so it probably explains why he's so quick. And maybe, I think, well, Moichin's got to be on light fuel as well, and that's probably why he's so quick too. But De Rossa now coming through onto the back straight. Is he quite in the slipstream? And I think he is. And this should be an easy move for De Rossa, unless Gamba defends, which he doesn't really. And so you could just see Carr turning into the haven in the distance, the top of the car. De Rossa on the inside, and he's up into third place. So that's pretty simple. Done and dusted right there. Roke there in fifth, Galloway and Kupok, then Lopez, and then Gomez on his own in ninth, Chatfield in 10th, completing the rest of the points. So looking through the rest of the field, there's Federi, there's Wilson. Could be battle coming up there soon. There's Dudu Kirby, who's not quite close enough to the car in front to make a move. Meanwhile, Roland Moichin is the first driver to make a pit stop, so it probably explains why he was so quick. But nonetheless, been a good stint so far from Roland Moichin. So, and also De Rossa is in the same lap too. So it looks like both these two will be doing the 3-stop. So they pit for fresh tyres, and so it comes out, and De Rossa comes out of his pit box as well. Still in the same positions. And there's another car, I think, coming in the pits as well. I'm not sure who it is, and it's actually Gabriel Gomez, who's in the pits as well. So Moichin comes out, it looks like, in 9th place. Yes, 9th place he comes out. And no, 10th, as the Williams just going around the outside there. Moichin might try and keep the position here, which he does, so he doesn't allow Griffiths to go around the outside there. I mean, that's good news actually for Moichin, because that means De Rossa has to pass Griffiths on track. Gomez in the pits as well. Willow's now up into 17th. Meanwhile, Gow trying to go past Fraser in the first corner, which he tries to. He's on the inside of the Haas driver, and he is going to make the move stick, I would think. He's on the outside, but he'll have the run through the corner. He's going to be much quicker than Fraser, and he does, so that is a move done there by Nicolas Gow. At the moment, still every car in this race after 11 laps. There was a little bit of chaos in the first lap at that corner at turn 4. There always is. Meanwhile, Kupok once again trying on the inside of Galloway, just hasn't got the speed of the Renault in a straight line, but actually Kupok is pitting this lap, so he's going to try the undercut. Meanwhile, actually Roke is pitting as well. Carr is in too, so a lot of drivers pitting early, it seems. Carr, I mean, yeah, he's got low fuel, but he's probably going to pit anyway, just to ensure that Moichin doesn't do a big undercut. So Carr on his pit box, and out he comes. So yep, the amount of fuel he's got in, definitely going to be for a 2-stop. So Roke is in, and meanwhile, actually, that was Moichin going past the other Williams of Felix Sontag up another position. So Roke is now in. Roke, who has not had a lot of pace so far in this stint. Kupok is also in, as we already know. So a lot of drivers, it looks like, going for a 3-stopper. And I think if you get to around probably maybe lap 15, past lap 15 is where I think they'll probably start to do the 2-stop. Maybe lap 15, 16. But Roke comes out behind De Rossa, which is no surprise. And Roberto Gamba is ahead of Kupok, so Kupok will have a bit of overtaking to do. Meanwhile, Joseph Willow's trying to pass Dudu Kirby, going to try and go around the outside, is he? No. And with that, he's now been overtaken by Gomez, who's just gone past. So that has not worked out for Willows there at all. So Gomez now going to try and make a move himself on the Brazilian Dudu Kirby. And so as we're looking on board with them coming through. And so Roke now at the moment in 10th position. There's Kupok, who's already on the back of Roberto Gamba. So at the moment, Franco Gamba leads. Jake Galloway is in second. And actually the gap is only 3.7 seconds. It's not actually that big. I thought it would be bigger, which is interesting. But I suppose, yeah. So we're looking at Sontag in 7th. There's Griffiths in 8th, but he's got De Rossa right behind him. So Griffiths will have a bit of defending to do, although it will probably be pretty futile because De Rossa is on fresher tyres. Meanwhile, Kupok all over the back of Roberto Gamba. Willows again on the back of Gomez, who himself is on the back of his fellow Brazilian Kirby. And he defends hard, does Kirby, but Gomez is going to still go for it. There's a little bit of contact there. No harm done. Although Willows is now right behind once again. As meanwhile, Kupok now alongside Roberto Gamba in the Ferrari. And De Rossa tries to get past Griffiths but fails. But Kupok now passing Roberto Gamba for 11th position there. And meanwhile, this side by side is Gomez now going past Kirby, and I think Willis is going to try the same thing. He's going to go past Kirby. He's going to try to go past Gomez as well. This would be an unbelievable move if he pulls this one off. Oh, there's contact. There's contact, and Kirby goes back through both of them, and Gomez has lost out terribly there. So, oh, you got to feel for Gomez. He's really lost out. So Willows does in fact gain one position, but doesn't actually get past Kirby. He was trying the move on the inside there. It was never going to work, and somehow Kirby sneaks through the middle. Look at that, just a perfect gap to get through. And Miglos Gal also got involved in this, and he didn't quite make contact with Willis, but he got past Gomez as well. So Gomez unfortunately lost out badly there. But meanwhile, this is Griffiths who's under pressure once again. Franco Lopez on the back of Jake Galloway in the Renault, and this is a battle for second position. And so Lopez, fuel-wise, it looks like he's probably going to be doing the two-stop. There is actually Franco Gamba, who's not that far in front. Only a few seconds ahead, but Lopez will certainly probably go after. And oh, I know he does make the move stick. Oh, wow, so he backed off there. Meanwhile, Chris Chatfield, who's in 5th, is going to be pitting this lap. Moishin is about to go past him, heading up towards the hairpin. And so I think there's another car, actually. I think that's De Rossa, who I'm pretty sure is side-by-side with one of the Williams drivers. So Moishin goes past, and this is De Rossa, who's all side-by-side. And actually, Roke has got past, has snuck past, and De Rossa managed to get back past him as he tries to overtake the Williams there. So a good battle here for the lower end of the points. Roke trying to get past De Rossa, who's being held up badly by Griffiths. And oh, now finally actually he has gone into the pit. So I wonder if Roke will now try and make a move on the inside into the first corner. Roke's in the slipstream. Is he going to go for it heading into the first corner? He's going to try. Is it enough? No, not quite. So De Rossa holds the position, and crucially, of course, that's allowed Kupok behind to close up as well, but De Rossa getting badly held up in traffic, and so Roke unable to make a stick. But now here is David Kupok, who is right behind, and so Roke unable to make the move stick there. But Griffiths finally went to the pits. Joseph Willows is also in the pits as well for McLaren. It's had an okay stint so far. Of course, he's had to try and recover a lot of time since getting involved on the first lap and losing his rear wing. Meanwhile, Gomez trying to get past Dudu Kirby in the Haas, to try and go around the outside. It's not going to work. Gal now at the moment up in the 16th, but he's not pitching for a few more laps, so it looks like he'll be doing a two-stop strategy. Meanwhile, Lopez once again trying desperately to get past Jake Galloway for second place. He doesn't seem to have the speed, but now he does have the braking, however, and now he gets back past Jake Galloway, and he's tried a couple of times. It didn't work. The Renault seems to have a lot of straight line speed. But finally Lopez gets past Galloway, and now he can go after Franco Gamba, the current leader of this race. And so there's car in 4th position. There's Kupok, who's now all over the back of Roke for 8th position here. And Kupok going to go for the move. He's going to try and go for it down the inside, but can't quite make it stick there, so not able to make the move stick. We're looking through the rest of the order. As meanwhile, Gomez now overtaking his fellow Brazilian Dudu Kirby for what is now 14th position. So Gomez on the inside. This should be an easy move, and he is through up into 14th position. Now Miguel Escobar is going to also try and have a go on the inside as well, but he's not able to do it. He's not quite close enough. I mean, he could, if he's maybe a touch closer, have a go into the first corner, but meanwhile Gomez on the inside, who's going to have a go at Martinez, is now he's on the inside as Martinez's teammate Wilson is in the pits. Gomez on the inside, and he'll make the move stick for 12th position there. Good move by the Brazilian. And so Dudu Kirby now is going to be the latest one to have a go at Martinez. And so as they come through turns 1, 2 and 3, as meanwhile Kupok still trying to get past Roke and Galloway there. So what's the gap actually out front? The gap is only about 3 seconds from the first. So the first top 3, actually, the top 3 at the moment, Franco Gamba in first, Lopez second, and Galloway third. They have not pitted yet. The rest of them have. So Carr has pitted. Chatfield actually still hasn't. De Rossa, Roke, Kupok, Roberto Gamba, a whole host of drivers who have not yet pitted. So a number of drivers, a lot of them actually looks like trying the 3-stop strategy. So tyres definitely an important factor here. As meanwhile, this Gagler car's behind Martinez here. Kirby going to try and make a move on the inside, or if Gal tries to make a move on him. And now Felix Sontag is involved in this battle as well. And meanwhile, Jamie Griffiths, as you can see on the graphic, has got past Daniel Fraser for 17th position there. So big gaggle of cars. This can only go one way, as now Kirby tries to move on the inside of Martinez. Gal is there, and so is Sontag. So who is going to come out on top? Sontag is going to try and go past all of them on the inside of the two Alphas battling there. So there's a little bit of a lock-up, almost 3 wide into the hairpin. Who is going to do it? Is Sontag going to make it through? He makes it past one of them. He makes it past, I think, Martinez, although Kirby has got through. Sontag is alongside Martinez. He's going to go around the outside. And yes, so Sontag does make it through. Gal, unfortunately, doesn't. So he's going to have to wait a little bit longer to get through. But good racing there between everyone. And actually, Gal's going to try and go around the outside here of Martinez. And he's going to try and go around the outside and do it. It's going to be a tough ask. But he's the quicker car, so you would think he'd be able to. And yes, he's going to go right round the outside, and Martinez is going to try and get back, but it's going to be futile, and he fails to do so. So now we're looking at this battle again. So Sontag managing to go past 2 cars there. Look at that, 3 wide down the back straight. Great racing there, and he almost went past all of them. Couldn't quite get the run on Kirby, and then of course he had to battle with Martinez, who had a run around the outside of the corner there. So he had to wait for a bit, and then managing to go around the outside of the final corner and make the move, stick and Gal. Great move, actually, by the way. You don't see that many moves being made around the outside of the first corner, so he did very well to make it stick. Meanwhile, Franco Lopez is now into the pits, so Gamba still leads. Galloway now back in 2nd place. So I would imagine, actually, let's see if Lopez is going to be on a 2 or a 3. And so as he pits, and yep, that is definitely going to be a 2-stop strategy. So it's a long stint for Franco Lopez, this is it. So it might be tough, but at the end he'll definitely be very quick. And so I think the car is actually used, we saw actually on the graphic as well, Roke past Chatfield, which is important because Kupok still hasn't been able to get past him, and actually Kupok now goes down the inside of his teammate Chatfield, although he would have let him through there for 7th place. Meanwhile, Lopez comes out in 9th, so he comes out in clear air. So at the moment, Jake Galloway, again, the gap's only 2.6 to, well, 2.5 I should say, to Frankie Gamma. So I don't think Frankie Gamma's exactly getting away. And oh, contact there as Willows gets barged by Amelia Wilson coming through the hairpin there. But Willows is not going to take that lying down. But Wilson gets the position back there, as Willows will now try and make another move. I'll assume into the first corner. He's in the slipstream. He'll make a jink to the right, and this should be an easy move for Willows down the inside. And yes, I believe he's got through. And yep, the cameras just about get back to the action in time. Looking at Dudu Kirby, who has gone a little bit wide here, going into the corner. But he's got Miklos Gau, who still hasn't been able to get past him. And oh, meanwhile, Jake Galloway battling with Omar Carr there for 2nd position. As Carr tried to make a move into the hairpin there, but failed. And so, could be injury battle here. I mean, Galloway actually still hasn't pitted yet, but he's definitely in with a good shout of well, certainly a top 3. Certainly a top 3. I mean, could the win be on the cards? I don't know, but he's certainly going to be with the chance of a top 3. A podium would be great. I mean, Evan Byrne, of course, got a podium in Bahrain, so it's easily possible that a Renault can get on the podium, and it was on merit when Byrne got the podium in Bahrain. He did very well there, so you never know what could happen here. Meanwhile, Sontag now going past Andrea Federi for 12th place, heading up towards the hairpin, and so he makes the move stick there pretty easily. And now Gal finally gets past Dudu Kirby, almost a little bit of contact there. Meanwhile, Laura Chung trying desperately to get past Martinez into the hairpin. Martinez goes very wide, and surely this is Chung's chance. And yep, she goes past the Filipino there. Willow is now going past Daniel Fraser, going through the hairpin, and he makes it stick. So lots of overtaking going on display here. As meanwhile, we're looking at this battle once again between Carr and Galloway. Galloway didn't get a good exit out of the hairpin there, but Carr still unable to make the move stick on Galloway. So, I mean, the gap actually is only 1.5, but oh, Roberto Gamba is off, and so is Gomez, so I think they've been involved here. Let's have a look at the replay. So this was what happened between the two. So Gomez trying to move on the inside there, a little bit of contact, and Gomez spun around there and managed to quickly recover there. Meanwhile, Franco Lopez now going past Chris Chatfield in the AlphaTauri. This is for 8th place, and he makes the move on the inside, and that is good. for him. Meanwhile, this battle for second place, I mean, and technically, Gamba is not exactly getting away, despite the fact Galloway's been under pressure, constant pressure from Carr. He's not exactly getting away, and crucially, Roland Moichin is in this battle now. So this is a legitimate battle for first place on the track. I mean, really, because Gamba has not pitted, neither has Galloway. Carr has, Moichin has, but it looks like, it is going to be that Galloway and Gamba are going to do the two-stop here. So this is important for Galloway to keep Carr behind him, but of course now Galloway has got Moichin to deal with as well, so this could be very, very tough for him. But this is a fascinating battle here. Galloway defending hard from Carr, who's tried to get past Galloway, but just hasn't had the straight line speed to get past him. So yeah, this is going to be fascinating to see what happens. Meanwhile, Gal is in the pits, as now this is Carr trying once again to make a move on the inside of Galloway down the straight, but crucially he's got to be careful because Moichin is there as well. He'll have the slipstream too. And he's now in the slipstream just about, and he's in the slipstream of Galloway. There's Lopez, Carr in front trying to make a move, and Moichin's going to go around the outside, surely not. And Moichin has just gone around the outside of Armour Carr into the hairpin and taken third place. What an unbelievable move. When have you ever seen a car go around the outside of someone at the hairpin? That is quite incredible. And now Moichin has got Galloway in his sights, and Moichin going to go around on the inside of the Brit, heading towards the first corner. He's going to make the mistake, and he's got it. And look at that. Moichin just sized through Carr and Galloway, and it's up into second place. And Gamba is just in front there. So Roland Moichin is technically going to be your race leader, it looks like. I mean, he's pitting soon, but Gamba will be as well. So yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. I mean, what a move by Moichin. I was not expecting it to do this. Just went around the outside. Carr was not expecting it at all. Fantastic move by the Hungarian there. I don't think I've ever seen a move around the outside of the hairpin, not from memory. And wow, what a move by the Hungarian there. And then Moichin just went through Galloway like he wasn't there, and Carr is going to be fuming. Has been unable to get past Galloway, and Moichin has just well and truly mugged him off here. Meanwhile, we're looking on board with Chris Chatfield in the AlphaTauri. He was running in 9th, and he has to pit. He was pitting soon anyway, but he pits now because he had a mechanical problem, and now Roland Moichin had to take the lead of the race. Frankie Gamba is going to pit this lap. Meanwhile, Carr now trying once again to get past Galloway in the background, but Frankie Gamba is going to pit this lap, so it's going to be the two-stop for him. And will Carr finally get past Galloway? And the answer is yes, at last. But unfortunately, that's a bit too late. He needed to get past him several laps ago, because Moichin is now in front and clear. So we'll see if Carr is able to catch up with Moichin. But at this moment in time, Roland Moichin is your legit leader of this race. And I mean I think Moichin, I can't even remember the last time he had a win. It's been so long, really, but it would be pretty fitting if he could do it. Meanwhile, Kupok has finally actually got past George Roque for 6th place there. Kupok's been stuck behind Roque for a lot of this race. So Gamba goes in. He will be doing the two-stop. It's going to be light fuel on this one, so he's going to be he's going to be pretty quick, Gamba. So as long as he's not in any traffic, and I'll be interested to see actually what when Galloway pits. It's got to be in the next couple of laps or so. But contact there between that is Gomez and Roberto Gamba, and Roberto Gamba gets through on the inside there of the Brazilian. As those two have been battling, they've already made contact once. They made it again, and so as we look at Amelia Wilson, who has actually passed Laura Chung on track, that's unfortunately not very good. So Moichin at the moment, the gap to Carr, 1.8 seconds. Carr's got just about second gap over Galloway in 3rd. De Rossa a little bit behind in 4th. Kupok in 5th. And Roque now in 6th. Lopez at the moment is in 7th. He's about 5 seconds off Roque. But so far still having a solid race. There's still plenty of time left to go, as this was the replay of Kupok finally going past Roque into the hairpin, and yeah, it was a pretty good move there by Kupok. Pretty simple. Now finally managing to make a stick. Meanwhile, Gomez and Roberto Gamba once again battling for the 5th time this race, and Gomez now on the inside and is now past Roberto Gamba, heading towards the hairpin, and Gomez now is through past the Italian of Roberto Gamba. And so that is battle of night. There's Felix Sontag actually, who's just behind in 11th. Who's having again. I mean, both Williams have been doing actually a solid race so far. But so we're looking through the rest of the fielders. There is actually Dudu Kirby battling with Amelia Wilson. This is for 15th, and Wilson, she gets through on the inside there. As now Felix Sontag is actually on the back of right over there. And actually, Jake Galloway now is pitting this lap, so this is gonna be interesting. I would imagine Gamble will still be in front, although I mean, when Gamble was driving, he didn't exactly have a lot of pace. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think Galloway probably will come up behind Gamba, but I think this will be pretty close. But Galloway looked to be the quicker car than Gamba before Moishin just went past. I mean, well, yeah, Moishin is definitely the quickest, and I'd say probably Galloway. I mean, Carr's second quickest, just about. Galloway definitely the third quickest. But we'll see actually how much fuel they put in. I mean, they put in a light load to Gamba's car, and I would imagine they'll probably do the same for Jake Galloway as well. So into the pits comes the Brit. So we'll see how much fuel they put in to his car. And so here we go. Changes all four tyres. And oh yeah, it's a lot more than Franco Gamba. So they're going longer than Gamba, which I think is a good move, because I mean you could go longer as long as you have good pace, it's fine. So Gamba, yeah, Gamba is comfortably in front. So I mean, fortunately for Galloway, he'll come out in plenty of clear air. Meanwhile, Willow's passing Jamie Griffiths for 12th place there. So yeah, so it looks like Galloway's going to be going quite long on this stint. Not quite as long as, like, say, Lopez is going, but still long nonetheless. Meanwhile, this is the Mercedes of Franco Lopez, speak of the devil, that is going attempting to pass the pink Mercedes of George Roque coming down the back straight. And the pink Mercedes just about holding his own, but I think Lopez probably is going to make this move into the corner, and yes, he does. So good move there by Franco Lopez. So Roque down the six. Roque just doesn't seemingly have the pace compared to his teammate, as meanwhile De Rossi is in, and so is Roland Moichin. So that means that Carr is now your leader of the race. So Amar Carr has been used to being number one. 2 wins out of 2 so far. Can he make it 3 out of 3? So Lopez now temporarily up into 4th. De Rossi will be pitting. They'll be pitting once more before the end. So, and Moichin, I mean, they're both on exactly the same fuel. So a straight out duel, it looks like. So Moichin's come out, I think it was in 6th place. So he does crucially actually come out, Moichin, ahead of Jake Galloway, which is important, because Galloway is still within a shout of getting a podium place here. Meanwhile, I think that was Q-Pog is in the pits. I think Roque is in the pits as well. So a number of drivers pitting this lap, it seems. And these guys obviously on the 3, they'll all be making one more stop before the end. So it'll be interesting to see actually how much, what the pace of Moichin and Galloway is going to be like. But it looks like Moichin is certainly the favourite for the victory at this moment in time. The gap at the moment, Carr to Q-Pog, is about 11 seconds. Q-Pog pitting. Lopez will be in 2nd, actually. Roque will then obviously be... well, no, Roque won't be 3rd, because he'll be pitting. So Gamba will take the position. So Galloway only about 2 seconds behind Moichin. Meanwhile, Franco Gamba actually going to go past. It looks like George Roque coming down the back straight here. So, and it's just about alongside Roque, but the braking power of all the cars is quite incredible, really. Will Gamba make a late dive on the inside? And the answer is not quite. Ooh, almost contact there between the two, but they get away with it. But Roque will be going to the pits anyway, so no need for Gamba to be doing anything silly. So Q-Pog is in, Roque is in, and there's a pit call as well for Amar Carr, who's going to be pitting next lap. And with that, that will mean that Franco Gamba actually will be taking the lead of the race. So Q-Pog is in. And let's see fuel-wise. Yep, he'll be doing obviously short stints, so pitting once more. Roque coming to the pit box just in front, and then Q-Pog manages to go out just after he goes in. It was perfect timing. Absolutely brilliant there. But Roque coming in, and he'll be coming back out onto the circuit. Meanwhile, Willows at the moment. Judge Willows, you have to say, actually, good recovery so far. Now back into the points from where he was on the first lap. It's been a decent recovery from Willows. So now Amar Carr is going to come out of the, or is going to go into the pit. So that will actually mean, so Franco Lopez actually technically is your legit leader of this race. Actually, I kind of forgot about it because obviously he's pitting only once more. So it will be Lopez will be first. Franco Gamba will be second. As Jake Galloway makes a little mistake there, makes a bit of an error. And, wow, I mean, that could have gone worse for him, because I mean, we've seen errors being made before and going off, but fortunately, Galloway manages to keep the car on the road, but that could have gone a whole lot worse. Meanwhile, Daniel Fraser, who at the moment is in last, and going into the hairpin will now remain last, as he's just gone into the back of Evan Byrne. Been a pretty torrid race for Fraser, just a really silly error. And yeah, amazingly, actually, there's still been no retirements yet. But Armagh Carr has actually come into the pits, but of course, I think that actually is Fraser in front. So I don't think Carr would appreciate the fact that Fraser's just ahead of him in the pits. It's slowed him down probably a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see where Carr comes out in the circuit. So Franco Lopez will take the lead of this race. So Franco Lopez in with a chance of winning from 12th position on the grid. So Carr down to 3rd, so he's behind Franco Gamba, who'll be behind Moichin, behind Galloway. Byrne, of course, is out of the pits as well. Yeah, he'll definitely be behind Galloway. So, and of course for Carr, that's his worst nightmare, of course, I just realised, because he struggled to get past Galloway earlier on. So Galloway's comfortably in front. So yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I don't think that's really worked out. And actually, De Rosser has even got in front of Carr as well. So that's not really worked. That's not worked out at all well from well, certainly for Carr anyway. Meanwhile, Franco Gamba is only 1.7 seconds behind Lopez. So I think Gamba is gaining on Franco Lopez out front. So I mean, I honestly have no idea who's going to win this race. I really don't. But for Carr, it's not worked out for him so far, that stint. But Gamba looks to be closing onto the back of Franco Lopez, who's got a long way to go on this stint still before he pits. So he's just got to try and keep Gamba behind him. But I mean, Franco Gamba to win, that'd be great news if he could win this race. The gap is definitely coming down. It's now down to 1.4. So Lopez is really going to need to get his fade on and defend as hard as he can, because he's within a shout of winning this race, and this would be great for him to take Carr off the #1 spot. Yes, I mean, it wouldn't be in the standings, but of course it would be meaning that Carr would not win, of course, all 3 races. But we've still got half of the race still left to go, and anything can happen. Meanwhile, Joseph Willows is trying to go past Dudu Kirby. He's just made a stop, and Kirby goes a little bit wide there. Willows kind of forced him into a mistake, and Willows goes through up into 15th position. And so now Gomez back behind Kirby once again, as they have been all races. There was a bit of a lock-up there from the men. But meanwhile, Franco Gamba closing on to the back of Lopez. It's now only a second the gap out front. And Moichin is in 3rd, a little bit of a distance away. But if these two battled for a bit, then Moichin could easily close up. What's the gap actually, Gamba to Moichin? Still, I think about the same, about 4.9 seconds. With the gap now less than a second out front between Gamba and Lopez. As meanwhile, Sontag in again in this battle between I think this is Gomez and Kirby, as Sontag trying to get through there past Gomez, but unable to do so. Well, he can sneak ahead of him, but of course he's got the other Brazilian Kirby right in front of him here, heading towards the hairpin. And Gomez is going to make a move on the inside of Kirby, and he makes it stick. Sontag, is he going to have a go as well? Is he going to have the run off the corner? No, not quite. So he has to stay behind the Brazilian there. But the gap, Moichin to Galloway, as he's telling us. Now this is the battle for the lead. This is Franco Gamba attacking his fellow Franco Lopez, and this is a battle for the lead of this race. Gamba now on the inside of the Mercedes, and is Gamba going to make it through? And yes, so Franco Gamba leads this race, and well, the thing is, he's going to be pitting in a few laps time, so he's going to be pitting fairly early, but he does take the legitimate lead of this race. And so Lopez now down to 2nd. So Lopez obviously not having the pace, but obviously he's just got to try and stay as close as he can to Franco Gamba, because when he pits, obviously Gamba will gain a few seconds, but when Lopez pits later on, he'll clearly have the advantage, because Gamba will be on old tyres, you would think, as a driver coming in the pits. Actually, Griffiths is coming in. I think it was Roberto Gamba, I believe. It was the other driver that was coming in. Meanwhile, Miklas Gao is attacking Nora Chung. This is for 12th position. And so as they're coming through the end of the second set, they're heading towards the back straight around the fast right hand. Keeping in the slipstream is Gao, and he'll now make a move on the inside down the back straight, and he's already alongside. He's going to breeze past the Ferrari. Look at the speed that the Red Bull has got, and there we go, already past the Ferrari, and he might even slot in ahead of him before the hairpin. And he does, Gao, and I mean, sometimes when that happens, you think there might be a collision, but fortunately this time there wasn't. I mean, Moichin is not that far actually away from Franco Lopez in 2nd place, so yeah, that could be interesting. So Griffiths is now in the pits actually as well. Meanwhile, this is the two Manners fighting. This is Martinez and Wilson, and there we go. Good move there by Wilson, passing Martinez for 90th position there. And so, at the moment, Gamba leading, Lopez second, Moichin third, Galloway fourth, De Rossa fifth. A very strange top 5, you'd have to say. Only one Mercedes in there. Gao now up into 10th, obviously, as he has passed Chung, as we said before. And I think Moichin definitely is closing to the back of Lopez. The gap is coming down, I would say. We'll see if it shows it coming across the line. 1.3. Yeah, it's coming down. I mean, Moichin is edging away from Galloway behind him. But yeah, this is a fascinating race. I honestly don't know who is going to win this race. I mean, I would have thought Lopez, but he's not. But he's obviously on heavy fuel, and has done a very long stint. Gamba, who's pitting fairly soon, who at the moment looks to be the quickest guy on track, but probably come the end of the race, it may not be the case, because yeah, I mean, the medium tyres, of course, are very difficult. Well, they can be obviously difficult tyres to last. But I mean, there's a reason why most drivers have done a 3-stop and not necessarily a 2. Rest tyres make a big difference here. Willows, meanwhile, now up into 11th place, passing Laura Chung as well. Meanwhile, Moichin actually is on the back of Lopez, right behind. So this is a battle for second place. And Lopez, I think his tyres are dead, because look at the gap now. It's up to over 3 seconds. So Lopez is really struggling at this moment in time. Moichin is going to go past him, coming down the back straight here. So I don't think this strategy from Mercedes is actually working out that well. Side by side between the two Mercedes-powered cars, and Moichin is on the inside and passes Lopez for second place. I mean, Lopez, as I say, is going very long on this stint, but it's not really working out for him so far. As meanwhile, we're looking at this battle. This is between Wilson and Federi, and Wilson edging past the Italian down the back straight. This is for the battle for 18th place. And Wilson is through, trying to do it into the hairpin, and yep, pretty easy move there. Now we're looking at the top 4, and I mean, Galloway is also gaining on Lopez actually for third, so Lopez is really struggling here. I mean, Carr is gaining on De Rossa in front of him for 5th place, and he needs to be, and this is good news for Carr because Lopez is struggling for pace at this moment in time. I mean, look at how much Galloway has closed on Lopez, and yeah, Lopez has really got to watch his back. He is struggling. Galloway might even make a move into the first corner here. He's that close. He's got a much better run through the final corner. Is he in the slipstream? He is. He's going to make a move on the inside. And Galloway is going to take 3rd position. And yes, so Galloway takes 3rd position from Franco Lopez, who is really struggling. His tyres must be gone because he's struggling so much. And he's dropping a lot of time. And if he's struggling this much, then he's just going to be a sitting duck for De Rossa and also for Carr behind. So for Lopez, I thought it was working out pretty well for him, but it really, really isn't. But meanwhile, actually, Moichin is closing onto the back of Franco Gamba, although it may have just been because Gamba was going through some traffic there. Meanwhile, we're looking at Gomez, who's got a much better run coming onto the back straight here, and is set to go past Laura Chung. This is for 12th place. Gomez past the Ferrari, as you can see in the graphic. Now heading up towards the hairpin, gets in front of Chung, but then Chung will make a move on the inside and get the position straight back. So Gomez really didn't think that through, and so he's now going to have to wait another few quarters. Well, he's going to have to wait until the next corner to try and make the move on Chung. As meanwhile, we're looking at this battle. This is and there's a battle here going on. This is for P5. This was yeah, De Rossa, who was trying to go past Burn there, and Martinez is out, and Rosetta Martinez is out, and I believe actually that is the first retirement of the race. And so Martinez, the first retirement of the Chinese Grand Prix after 34 laps, been going quite long. It's amazing to see how reliable the cars are. There was a puncture for Martinez, who was running down in 20th position, and so yeah, just coming into the corner then has to pull off, and you can see the problem. You can see the way the car's lurching there. So Martinez, the first retirement of the race. As meanwhile, this is Roland Moichin, who looks like may have made the move past Franco Gamba for the lead of this race, and you can see Moichin just so much quicker than Gamba down the straight. Pretty easy move, and Moichin is through past Franco Gamba for the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. So Moichin is the legit leader of this race. Meanwhile, this is the battle for P4. This is De Rossa right behind Lopez, and De Rossa's going to try and make a move on the inside here. Oh, there's contact, and De Rossa's around, and he's spun right in the middle of the circuit. He's been hit. He has been hit by Byrne, and De Rossa is out. And De Rossa, who had a good chance of a top 5 finish, and he's going to get nothing from this race. And De Rossi is out of the Grand Prix, and he's going to be free with that. Oh, there's a car that's hit the debris. I think that's Roke behind, has hit the debris, and he is out of the race as well. So Roke, a totally innocent party, he is out. So in the space of a lap, there's been no cars, and now 3 cars out. But oh my word, De Rossi is going to be kicking himself. He was on for a good result, in with a shout of a podium, and now he's going to get absolutely nothing. And Roke, who was not having a particularly great race, and look at that car managing to sneak through there. That worked out perfectly for him, and not good actually for Lopez. But let's have a look on board. You can see all the onboard shots there, and Roke, who's just coming through, wheel right on the line there, and he hits it, and he is out. So now Franco Gamba pits. Daniel Fraser is in as well. Kupok trying to go past trying to go past the Mercedes of Lopez, who again is just almost running on rims. He is struggling. But now Moitin is in first. Galloway is second. So quite incredible how this race is going. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it's legit top 2 as well. Galloway in second position. And so Gal himself is going to be pitting this lap as well. But wow, this race has really taken a bit of a turn now. So that's eliminated a few cars from the running. So Byrne, he's made a lot of pit stops from this race. So now this is Kupok battling with Lopez for 4th place. The gap Moitin to Galloway is about 5 seconds, but I think Moitin has got the gap on Galloway, it looks like. But Galloway is it looks set to get a podium. Nonetheless, as now Kupok all over the back of Lopez for 4th place here. He really wants to make a move and get through, as Gamba just needs to bide his time, needs to save his tyres, because he's got plenty of gap, and he'll take the lead of this race, I think. Well, even though Moitin did pass him, Gamba's going to be on fresher tyres, so I think by the time Moitin pits, Gamba will be in front. But meanwhile, Kupok set to go past Lopez, or at least try to, down the front straight. But I think the Mercedes has just got the speed. You can see him just edging back in front. So Kupok, will he try and edge back in and make a move on the inside? And the answer is no. So Kupok stays behind Lopez as they come through the hairpin. Oh, almost contact there between the two. That was very, very close. That could have ended very badly. And so now Kupok going to try and make a move surely into the first corner. And he's right behind the Mercedes, and is he going to go around the outside? No, he's going to swap to the inside. Is this the move for Kupok? And the answer is no, it isn't. So still unable to do it. So Moitin still going for a few more laps. Galloway in second, Carr in third, Lopez just about holding on in 4th. But as we're looking at Franco Gamba coming across the line, he's in clear air at this moment in time, and it's looking good for him to get a good result from this race. But Lopez again struggling. I thought he'd be the favourite for this win, but obviously not. Moitin is extending the gap to Galloway in second. It was just about 6 seconds as Carr now trying to get through some traffic here. This is not going to go well. This is oh, that's so close. Oh, and somehow the Ferrari doesn't make contact with him there. That was incredibly sketchy, but Carr manages to sneak through there. That was a battle between Chung and Federi there. That was for 15th place, as Federi does a bit of a lock up there, or gets a little bit out of shape as he now comes onto the back straight. So Carr now finally clear of those two. I mean, how there wasn't contact made between the two, I have no idea, and they're so lucky that yeah, they didn't make contact there. On another day there would be contact. Meanwhile, Joseph Willows steaming past Chris Chatfield. This is for 7th place. So Joseph Willows having a great recovery drive, now up into 7th, as Chatfield going to try and actually make the position back here on the inside, coming in towards the hairpin. And yep, Chatfield does get back through past Willows, and so Willows going to have to try again, coming onto the front straight. And so as he's coming into the final corner, he'll try and have another go. Meanwhile, this is I think this is Roberto Gamba, I think, behind Felix Sontag in the Williams. And so is he going to try and he's not quite got the speed. He's going to go for a late move, Roberto Gamba, and yes, on the inside, and yep, he is through up into 10th place, the last point spot. So Sontag unable to keep the Ferrari behind him there. But now we're looking at Armar Carr at the moment, who is running in 3rd position, and he'll be pitting fairly soon. As meanwhile, Lopez has been passed by David Kupok for 4th place there. It has finally happened, but for Lopez it's really not turning out very well at the moment, this stint. As meanwhile, this is Jamie Griffiths, who's going past his teammate Felix Sontag here. This is for 11th position, so it's just outside of the points. And yeah, good move there by the Welshman. I mean, both Williams have been having a solid race and everything. They've been battling and handling it very well. But at the moment, Roland Moitin leading this Grand Prix. and it's looking pretty solid for him. I mean, the gap is extending to Galloway. It's now nearly 8 seconds. 7.8 there. It was come down ever so slightly, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Carr is closing actually onto the back of Galloway as well in second position, so Galloway needs to watch his back pretty soon as we're looking. And actually, Galloway, probably the reason why is because he just lapped the Ferrari there of Laura Chung, I believe it was. And now Ronan Moichin does come in for his final stop of the race, so that will mean Jake Galloway in just his third OC race will be leading, and that's something you probably didn't expect to hear really. But Daniel Fraser has received a 10-second time penalty for causing the incident with Evan Burns, so that's no surprise there. So as we look now at Moichin, he's in, and he'll be coming out. So where will he come out on the circuit? It will be an interesting thing. He'll come out, I think, behind. It'll be up behind Franco Gamba, so Franco Gamba will be leading this race once everybody pits, but Moichin is going to be so much quicker than him, so I think Moichin is definitely in the prime position to win this race. He's going to be out in total clear air as well. Amar Carr is now in, so Jake Galloway is still your leader of this race, and so Carr comes in and will change all 4 tyres, and so where he'll come out on the track, comfortably behind Moichin. So could he close on Moichin? I'm not sure. I mean, he'll certainly probably get Franco Gamba as well, because by the time they get to the end, he'll be much quicker than him, so it'll be interesting to see. Carr comes out, and he's down behind Moichin comfortably, of course. So actually, would he be ahead of Kupok? And actually, no, he won't even be ahead of Kupok, so he'll have to actually have Kupok to deal with, and Kupok is going to the end, so yeah, so Carr will have a little bit of overtaking to do, actually. I did forget, actually, about Kupok involved in this battle, but Lopez, at the moment, 8.5 seconds off of Galloway. That is the gap. Federi is in, but he's not going to get anything out of this race. He's highly doubt he's going to be able to get a good result, really. But, so as look at Frank Garrett in third, there's Lopez, who's actually coming into the pits on this lap. So finally Lopez can get off those tyres, which he's been on for far, probably at least 10 laps too long. But now finally, when he pits, he'll be on fresher tyres, so he'll be able to get his fade on. But Jake Galloway actually as well is pitting this lap too. Yeah, so Lopez won't be taking the lead of this race, but Franco Gamba will be. So Galloway will be coming into the pits this lap, and I mean, Jake Galloway's had a great race, really. He's held his own and has been involved at the top for this whole race, really. Come under the radar. He'll now come in, so Lopez, if he wants to win this race, will have to try and overtake Galloway, but he's so far behind. I don't know if that will be possible or not. But anyway, Galloway comes into the pits, and Lopez will also come into the pits as well. So there's also the Mercedes crew, as we have a yellow flag out on circuit, and Dudu Kirby is out, and Moichin is out! Can you believe it? Roland Moichin is out of the race, and what on earth has happened here? And well, Roland Moichin was set to be the favourite to win. He's not going to win anymore. What has happened? So Dudu Kirby had a mechanical failure, and oh, you can't write that. So he has a mechanical failure, does Dudu Kirby, goes into the wall, bounces back to the circuit. Moichin had nowhere to go and hits him. Can you believe what has just happened at this race? And Roland Moichin looks set to be the favourite to win this race, and he is going to get nothing. And oh my word, he's going to be having some words with Kirby after this race. I mean, I don't know what to say. That is just heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. The Moichin set for victory, it looked like, is now going to get nothing, because he was only 5 seconds off of Gamba, and he was definitely gonna catch him with 12 laps left. Oh my word! So that means actually that Franco Gamba is now your leader of the race, and so out of nowhere, Franco Gamba is in position to win. So this is the onboard from Dudu Kirby. So he had an electrical problem as he came down the back straight, actually, and unfortunately was unable to get back to the pits. And well, yeah, as Ronan Moichin will know. So Lopez has pitted, so has Galloway. So Franco Gamba will lead this race. I believe Jake Galloway actually is still in second. And so yes, so this is the top three. Actually, no, actually Galloway is in third, actually. So this is your top three. So Franco Gamba is leading this race. David Kupok is second. Galloway is third. Can you believe this top three at this moment in time? With just 11 laps to go, but Galloway, who is just pitted, is surely going to get past Kupok very soon. Gamba is leading, but he pitted the earliest out of all these guys. So, I mean, I don't know what the gap is out front. Hopefully they'll show it soon. But I mean, both Kupok and Galloway could still, I think, close on Gamba. The gap is, I mean, it's a big gap. I think it's way over 10 seconds. But I mean, I'd be interested to see if Gamba, because Gamba pitted around about, was it over 10 laps ago? About 10 laps ago ish. So by the end of this race, he might be showing. But meanwhile, Galloway is going to go past David Kupok for second position. He's already passed Kupok before they've only just got off the corner. And so Galloway is already through, and will Kupok try to make the move back on the inside of the Renault? Galloway's not going to let that happen. And so Galloway now moves up into second position, and could Jake Galloway win this race? He's so much quicker. He's on the freshest tyres out of anyone in this. Well, he and Lopez are going to be so quick at the end of this race. I don't know what the gap is to Franco Gamba. So as he comes across the line, 15 seconds. There's 10 laps left. But Galloway is going to be very quick, so he is going to close up on Franco Gamba, but how quickly will he be able to do it? So Lopez at the moment is in P5, so he's still had a decent recovery. Roberto Gamba somehow actually P6. I don't know how on earth he's managed that from absolutely nowhere. But Joseph Willows is right behind. Look at the speed that Willows has got coming down the straight here. And Willows is just going to breeze past the Ferrari very, very slow in a straight line. And so Willows now moves up into 6th position. A good recovery from Joseph Willows from a nightmare start. So, yeah, Gamba, I don't know how he managed to got into 6th position, but, I mean, I think he's only made one stop, actually, Gamba. So, he's tried the one stop, and it seemingly has worked, but I don't think it's going to be working for much longer, really, because he's going to be very slow come the end of the race. And so, there is actually, so Kupok in 3rd at the moment, but Carr, I wonder if he'll close on the back of Kupok as well, so Kupok might need to watch his back as well. And don't actually count out Franco Lopez, he will be quite quick as well come the end of this race. As meanwhile, Federi has just gone past Fraser there for the battle to not be last. The gap, look at the gap, it is coming down out front, it really is coming down. And there was a bit of some smoke there. And it's Felix Sontag, so I thought it was a lock-up, but Felix Sontag is out of this race. And, well, so Felix Sontag, who is having, again, an encouraging race, very unfortunate, but he is out with just 8 laps to go. And there we go, so that is his race done, and that's it to the gap. Ooh, look at the gap, actually, it's down to 8 seconds, Galloway to Franco Gamba. If it's come down that, what was it, 15 seconds? If it's come down that much, then Galloway is surely going to pass Franco Gamba, if it's come down that much already. So, I just don't think Gamba's going to have any tyres left by the time Galloway gets to him. So, we could see an overtake for the lead here, but as we see the replay again of the unfortunate Felix Sontag, who retires from the race, and obviously right in front of his teammate Jamie Griffiths there, who goes past, get a face full of smoke. As now here we are looking at Miguel Scal, who is under pressure actually from Chris Chatfield behind, but Roberto Gamba is just in front there, who is struggling on these tyres. Look at how much they're gaining, and they're not even behind in the slipstream. Gap now out front down to 6.2 seconds. So, yep, I think Gamba could be in trouble here for the race win. But Chatfield goes past Gal for 8th, and he's surely going to get past Gamba straight away, because look at how much he closes on, and Gamba's got nothing left. No tyres, and his cousin is going to be in the same boat, surely. And so Chatfield breezes past Gamba, it looks like, into the first corner, and he does. So he now passes Roberto Gamba for 7th place. Gal is going to attempt to go past the Ferrari as well. And so is he going to try and go around the outside? Nope, that's not going to work. 5 seconds now the gap. It's coming down by at least a second every lap. So yeah, I think Gamba is going to be a sitting duck pretty soon. But meanwhile, I think Carr's still behind Kupok for 3rd place. I don't know how if Kupok will be able to hold on, but only 6 laps left. And here is Jake Galloway. The gap is rapidly coming down. And there is Gamba, and the gap is only 4 seconds now. So Gamba is surely going to get overtaken, and in the next 2 laps at least. But I just don't see Franco Gamba being able to hold on. Galloway is so quick. And so Carr at the moment is still unable to get past Kupok for 3rd. Franco Lopez is closing on them though. So I wonder if we could see a battle for each spot on the podium. So none of these spots on the podium are guaranteed just yet. But now we're looking at Gal, who's right behind Roberto Gamba, coming onto the back straight. And he's going to make a move on the inside of the Ferrari. Already passing the Ferrari down the back straight as they head towards the hairpin. And Miguel Scal already now up into 8th position as he goes into the hairpin. And yep, it's 8th place for Gal. Roberto Gamba down to 9th, and Gabriel Gomez is just behind as well. So yeah, I just don't... so Roberto Gamba, unfortunately, has got no tyres left. And now here it is. This is the battle for the lead. Jake Galloway versus Franco Gamba with 5 laps left of this race. Galloway going to try and make it on the inside. There's contact between the two. There's contact. But Galloway is through. It didn't matter. It was a bit more rough than I think he would have wanted. But Jake Galloway is leading this race. Can you believe it? So, I mean, that just proves that Gamba had absolutely no tyres left whatsoever. And Galloway kind of just nudges him out of the way and says, I want to win this race. And he is set to win it. Can you believe what has just happened here? And meanwhile, Carr has finally passed Kupok for 3rd position. He couldn't hold out much longer. So, wow. Can you believe what has happened in this race? So, Gamba down to 2nd. And look at how much Galloway's ahead. And, yeah, I mean, Gamba was just never going to be able to hold on. And I wonder, actually. And, oh, Lopez has got past Kupok as well. So Lopez now up into 4th position. He's got past Kupok as well. I think the two Mercedes are surely going to catch Gamba as well. He's not that far ahead. And if Galloway can pass him and do 2 seconds on him immediately, then, yeah, there is Gamba you can see just in the distance. But meanwhile, Lopez now on the back of Carr for 3rd. As meanwhile, Gomez is passing Gal for 8th place here. So a good race from Gabriel Gomez on the inside. And he passes Gal and moves up into 8th position here. As Griffiths then is in, at the moment, in 12th position. He's got Chung and the 2 Ferraris ahead. But meanwhile, the 2 Mercedes are battling for 3rd. This is important in the championship. Lopez now going to go past Carr for 3rd position. And Lopez from 12th on the grid. Didn't look like... Well, he looked to be favourite, then didn't. But it looks like he's going to get on the podium. He's now up into 3rd. And Carr down to 4th as they head in towards the hairpin. And there is Franco Gamba right in front right there. So Lopez looks like he may even get another 2nd place. Galloway 4 seconds ahead of Franco Gamba. And here we go. This is the battle for 2nd. Gamba has got nothing left to defend. So his fellow Frank is going to overtake him. Lopez on the inside, side by side in front. Carr just watching these two battle for 2nd position. And Gamba is going to surely have to relinquish the place. He just can't hold on. And Lopez now up into 2nd. And Carr's going to attempt to go through as well. Kupok is there, still in the background. So Gamba could end up from just 2 laps ago being in the lead to finishing in 5th. And Carr is surely going to make the move. Is he quite close enough? He's just about in the slipstream, heading towards the first corner. I think he might try and go for the move here. This might be very late. Will Carr go for the move? He's on the inside. And I think he's through. And yes, Carr does make it through up into 3rd position. So Franco Gamba down to 4th. And it could even get worse, because if Kupok can keep his tyres up, he could overtake him as well. But would you believe it? Jake Galloway is set to be an OC race winner, and I say set to be because we've still got the whole lap to complete. But he'd been there and thereabouts this whole race, and he was set to take a podium. But then when Roland Moitian had that very, very unfortunate, and I mean you got to feel sorry for him when he had that very, very unfortunate incident with Kirby, it looked like the Moitian was going to win, but they took it away, and Galloway was so much quicker than Franco Gamba. I mean they were both on the same strategy actually, Gamba and Galloway, but Gamba pitted a lot earlier, and that was unfortunately his downfall. Galloway pitted a lot later, and all the drivers that pitted later were so much quicker at the end of this race. Hence, they all just gobbled up Gamba for dinner. But Jake Galloway, in just his 3rd OC race, is set to take victory. And you know he wasn't even originally on the grid for next season, but he was put on the grid for Renault. And wow, after last week, Renault. Evan Byrne took a podium, his first podium in 9 seasons last week at Bahrain. It's going to go one better for Jake Galloway this week in just his 3rd OC race. Jake Galloway comes around the final corner and he is going to win the Chinese Grand Prix, his first ever OC win. And what a way to do it. I just can't believe this race has happened. This race has been absolutely crazy. Lopez will be very happy to get 2nd place out of that. So it's 3 2nd places in a row for him so far this season. 3 races and 3 seconds. So Carr comes across the line in 3rd. Gamba does hold off Kupok for 4th position, so at least he gets that. But it could have been so much better for Gamba. But wow, so the top 5 very close as they came across the line. Willows will come across the line in a very distant P6, but he'll be very, very happy to have recovered. That was as best he was going to get, really. But after the first lap, and Willows, who had originally had a torrid start to the season, is going to get 6th position, his first points of the season for McLaren. He'll definitely be very happy to get that from this race. So as he comes now across the line, and yep, that is 6th position for him. And now Evan Byrne, just a nightmare race for him, got caught in the first lap, and then also got hit by Fraser. It was a bit of an unnecessary collision by Fraser, so he comes across the line in 14th, and not last, amazingly, as well. For Derry is 15th, and so Chris Chatfield, way behind, is set to come across the line and finish in P7. He'll be pretty chuffed with that as well. Had a good start to the season for Chatfield for AlphaTauri. He comes across the line, and for AlphaTauri in general, it's been a very solid start to the season, really. So they both performed very well. Gabriel Gomez as well started way down the order, and he'll take 8th place. He'll be pretty satisfied with that as he comes across the line. So that is 8th for him. And then Miguel Scal, again, yeah, not the best race from him. Couldn't recover as well as the others, and only comes across the line in 9th. Daniel Fraser last, and comfortably last in 16th position. Roberto Gamba takes the final point spot in 10th, and Jimmy Griffiths, again a solid race, but just misses out on getting his first points in the OC. But here is your full race results. So Jake Galloway winning ahead of Franco Lopez in 2nd and Amar Carr 3rd. Who would have thought that Galloway would win in a Renault? No one. But anyway, Franco Gamba 4th, David Cufox 5th, Joseph Willis 6th, Chris Chatfield 7th, Gabriel Gomez 8th, Miguel Scal 9th, Roberto Gamba 10th, and Jamie Griffiths the last car on the lead lap in 11th position. And Franco Lopez actually was the one who got the fastest lap point as well. Laura Chung 12th, Minnie Wilson 13th, Evan Byrne 14th, Andrea Federi 15th, and Daniel Fraser, who also had the 10th time penalty, but he was last anyway. With Felix Sontag, Rilla Moichin, Duda Kirby, Joseph de Rossa, George Roque, and Rosetta Martinez, the drivers who did not finish this race. So now we'll take a look at the drivers and constructor standings after China. So Amar Carr still leads the gap 9 points to Franco Lopez, but Jake Calloway in 3rd position after that win, moving up ahead of Miguel Scal, Evan Byrne, George Roque, David Cupock in 7th, Franco Gamba moving up to 8th position, Roberto Gamba 9th, and Federi in 10th. Joseph Willis moving up to 11th with his first points of the season. Rest of the order, a lot of movements. Chris Chatfield moving up several positions up to 12th, Gomez 13th, Moji 14th, De Rossa, and the Holland drivers yet to score a point. Griffiths, Martinez, Kirby, Chung, Wilson, Fraser, and Sontag. So they're the guys that have yet to score a point so far this season. But Moji, it should have been 28 points as far as I'm concerned. And you can say he got robbed of a win. Mercedes comfortably clear at the top of the constructor standings. Renault up to 2nd, moving ahead of Red Bull. AlphaTauri in 4th, moving ahead of Racing Point. Alfa Romeo moving ahead of Ferrari of all teams into 6th position. Ferrari down to 7th. McLaren 8th. Williams moving ahead of Manor into 9th, with Haas last position. And no surprise, driver of the day given to Jake Galloway. I mean, it couldn't really go to anyone else, could it? Really, but wow. I mean, thoroughly deserved a fantastic victory. And yeah, there we go. That was probably one of the best OC races we've had in a while. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave the video a like. Check out all our links in the description, our wiki, join our Discord, and we'll see you for the next round, the Dutch Grand Prix, the first ever Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you there.